Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Blitzcast here on the Majors TV. I am Adam Hernandez. A little different setup tonight because... Where is it? Dorf is in Nebraska. You might want to unmute yourself, Dorf. Oh, wait. No, that's my fault. Never mind.
I was like, come on, I did it. What the heck? Professional show we have here.
Sorry about that. That's my fault. But yes, Dorf is in Nebraska. He's on vacation right now.
Say vacation, man. Yes, because I am one of the sorry souls who vacations to Omaha, Nebraska in January.
Come on. Omaha's a nice place, though, isn't it?
Well,
No.
I mean, I've only been here one other time, and that was College World Series week. That was pretty cool, but so far I've been in town about 10 hours, and there ain't much going on.
So it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock there right now, and everybody's in bed, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
But anyways, welcome, like I said, everyone to Blitzcast. Got a few different topics lined up here. First and foremost, news breaking earlier in the day today, and that was former Oklahoma quarterback and current Heisman Trophy winner Kyler Murray has declared himself eligible for the 2019 NFL Draft coming up this spring, which throws a wrench into perhaps some NFL front office plans here and forces the Oakland A's back to the negotiating table with Kyler Murray. This is something that, in the last few days, the past couple of weeks, seemed like it was, more and more a possibility, Dorf. And lo and behold, today, Kyler Murray announces that on Twitter that he will declare himself eligible for the MLB for the NFL draft. This was a 9th overall pick in the MLB draft. I think it was last year by
Correct.
the Athletics. And I don't know. This is. I mean, now let's preface this a little bit. Just because Kyler Murray is saying that he's coming out and declaring himself eligible for the NFL draft doesn't mean he's not going to play baseball. It doesn't mean he's going to play football. Dorf.
There's only one thing this situation changes. He, believe it or not, had a year of eligibility left at Oklahoma. He can't go back now.
Yep.
That's all this changes.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit on Motor City Uncut, which you can catch over on Detroit.themajors.net. And this is one of those moves that is going to possibly get him some more money. This is forcing, like we said, the Oakland Athletics back to the negotiating table. They're going to have to come up with a number that keeps Kyler Murray's focus on baseball and keeps him on the baseball diamond and away from the football field. And the A's are going to have to do something that they really quite haven't done, at least in recent memory, and that's spend some money. If they want to keep Kyler Murray around, they're going to have to fork over some more change in order to do that. I know Deion Sanders came out today and said that if this was him, if he was in his shoes, he'd pick up the baseball bat. And I'm paraphrasing Deion's quote here, but this is along the lines here, is he would pick up a baseball bat and never look back at the NFL ever again. If Kyler Murray was smart, from my opinion, Dorf, that's exactly what he would do, but without not without trying to up his paycheck a little bit here from Oakland.
So the major thing is Major League rules here. Draft picks cannot be offered Major League contracts. That's like a recent addition to the most recent CBA. Mm-hmm. You cannot sign a Major League contract, which means you get put on the 40-man roster right away.
Sure.
So because the end of his first professional baseball season is technically over, even though I don't believe he made any. Did he play? I don't remember if he played or not.
I don't know.
So his first season is technically over. They can technically purchase his contract and offer him an contract extension for the 15 for whatever amount of money, and give him a signing bonus worth that extra 15 that he's supposedly asking for. but that would start his service clock right away. So if that happens, this is what happens. He's on the 40-man roster. Even if he's an A-ball, he's guaranteed a salary of at least $89,500 in the minor leagues, which compared to what those guys usually make, that's like about 7 or 8 times what his teammates would be making in the minor leagues. On top of it, you get about $15 million in cash in the bank, like we were talking about, and he could still progress on a normal schedule. Mm-hmm. It's all about opportunity cost. I mean, the rest of the guys in his draft class didn't have this leverage. There's about one other guy that I can think of that was actually a legitimate not football prospect, but he's a two-way player. I believe his name is Braden McKay. He was drafted by the Rays, if I remember correctly. He's like a corner outfielder, first base, and a pitcher. That you would arguably say, oh, he's worth like double because he can play both ways. But as far as Kyler Murray goes, I think, quite honestly, I think Deion Sanders is right. He should pick up that baseball bat and he should never pick up a football again. He has a higher chance of making more money in the Major League Baseball. If you look at the average Major League Baseball player, just like if you get an average, you play out your arbitration years, if you're good. I mean, look at what Mookie Betts, who's honestly probably the closest comp to what Kyler Murray could become. Mm-hmm. That's like Kyler Murray's ceiling. Mookie Betts is a damn good player. He just got $20 million in his first year arbitration. $20 million for next season. Mookie Betts is still a couple years away from free agency and will probably get over $200 million when he hits the free agent market in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Elite NFL quarterbacks, like guys that get 3-4 contracts, make $250 million in their life. Kyler Murray can do that by being an average baseball player, an above average baseball player. So I'm not saying average here, but an above average baseball player versus an elite quarterback in the NFL. There are a lot more above average baseball players than there are elite quarterbacks. Minimally speaking, he would be able to get that signing bonus, and he could progress on a normal schedule. Now, will that encourage a team like the A's to hustle him along maybe faster than he's ready to in the development cycle because they have a lot invested in him? Yeah, sure. But at the same time, he can then progress in a normal schedule and he'll have to play him in the big leagues right away. At the same time, if this was Kyler Murray in Trevor Lawrence's body, where he's 6'3", 6'4", over 200 pounds, and rangy, I would say football all the way, because then he had the more elite physical tools that the NFL teams are. The recipe for success in the NFL is more built around. Yes, everybody can always talk Drew Brees and yada yada, et cetera, and Russell Wilson, but at the same time, those two are the exception to the rule. Drew Brees has been doing this almost 20 years, and Russell Wilson's on year 5. That's two guys in a 20-year span. That's not a rule. That's not a trend. I don't think he, at 5'9", that's probably probably what he's going to measure at 5'9" or 5'10". Mm-hmm. Being that height as a MLB hitter is actually to your advantage. It's like the perfect balance of compact strike zone, body, arm strength, and ability to be compact in the zone. It's like the best case scenario for a hitter. That's why you always see guys that are bigger and longer struggle with faster fastballs because it takes more to get through their bat through the zone. And you have the little guys, with the rare exception of like Jose Altuve, who really struggle to do anything with the ball because there's just not enough of them to get a lot behind it. So Kyler Murray is like the perfect size to be successful in baseball. He's an elite athlete. He's going to steal a lot of bases. He's going to play damn good defensive outfield. He's going to, the question will always be, well, can he hit? Mm-hmm. He hit pretty damn well at Oklahoma. That's about as good as you can, a measuring stick in college baseball as you can find, outside of maybe playing at the University of Texas or Florida or Vanderbilt. But with that being said, he's a lot more surefire prospect in the MLB. Yeah, somebody can pick him in the NFL first round, but as we discussed in Motor City Uncut, there's been a lot of stinkers in the first round here lately. One most comes to mind in his likely draft position, that being Paxton Lynch, or even if you go back a little bit further, Christian Ponder, guys that sucked and didn't make it out of their rookie deals before they were out of the league. So,
and that's the thing.
Drafted.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Dorf. If he comes out and he says, "No, I'm going to play football," there will be somebody to draft him in the first round, and he very well could go within the top 10. There's 2 teams within that top 10 that very well could take a chance on him, and that's the Oakland Raiders,
Oh, and here's the other thing,
whoever they are, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those 2
you're
teams.
forgetting about the Giants too.
Yeah, and the Giants. Yep, and the Giants.
And
as
you're
well.
also forgetting there's the NFL Draft Day Trade-a-Palooza that still hasn't happened yet either. So there's plenty of other teams that could be marching their way up for him.
But you highlighted this, and you kind of set things out pretty well, Dorf, and during Motor City Uncut, and you talk, we're sitting here discussing his path to being a good major league player, as opposed to his path to being.
It's not even like his path to being a good major league player; it's his path to getting paid.
And that's what I mean, because
the $15 million he wants from the A's is about the value of his rookie contract in Major League Baseball, or in the NFL would be. What plus the signing bonus that he already had, what he had, the $4.5 million signing bonus he already got, what he expects to get on a rookie contract is about $20 million in the NFL. So the money would then be equal. The guaranteed money up front.
But where
does he have a better path to getting paid again? It's in the MLB. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're right.
It may take a couple more years, but he's more likely to succeed. And he's more likely to have a longer, more successful, more financially lucrative career in Major League Baseball.
No, because like you said that, once he's able to get that first big contract in the NFL, the luster's going to be worn off a bit on him. And who knows where he would be, because right now the physical attributes are going against him a little bit in the NFL. So who knows where he's going to be when that time comes around. It certainly seems like it's a bigger gamble to do that in the NFL as opposed to the MLB. Not to mention, too, the long-term effects on the body are going to be much, much better in Major League Baseball as opposed to the NFL, obviously.
Especially as an outfielder.
Yeah.
I mean, your hips and knees and ankles will be shot by the time you're done, but those are going to be shot if you're a pro athlete no matter what.
Exactly. That's what comes with being a pro athlete in any sport.
You're likely able to escape spinal and brain injuries as a baseball outfielder.
Yeah, and I would much rather, have to deal with knee and hip issues than spine and head issues. So, I would agree with Deion Sanders as well. You know what? Pick up the baseball. Well, use this as leverage, like you were saying, Dorf. This is something this is something that
Go ahead, Kyler, get paid, man.
Yeah, this is something that not a lot of athletes in his position right now have the luxury of being able to do, and that's go in and use this against the team that has already signed you and is already expecting you to, play for their team. And especially that too. Not only the leverage is so good, is not only will he be drafted by an NFL team, this is a guy that very well could be drafted in the top 10. So that's that extra amount of leverage that he has against the A's. I would be doing the same exact thing if I were him as well. Now I think he has 72 hours to pull his name out from the
And here's the thing, he won't.
No, he won't.
The only thing that him declaring for the NFL draft prevents is him going back to school. Yep. He did have an year of eligibility left at Oklahoma. That's the only thing that prevents. Now, his decision between baseball and football probably doesn't have to come for another month when he's destined to likely report for spring training. Mm-hmm. Hell, he could even go to spring training and the combine's in April. That would be the only thing. The A's at that point would be, you're going to play for us and your NFL little dabbling with the NFL is over, or if you walk away from the A's to go to the combine, or the A's minor league system or whatever, to go to the combine at the beginning of the minor league baseball season, if I were the A's, I'd say fuck you, you're done. Now we're going to own your rights forever, and if you ever want to try and come back to this game, we own you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Kyler really doesn't have to make the decision until it's time to whether or not to go to the combine.
No.
With the combine being I believe it's in March. Is it in March? I believe it's in March. And the draft's in April. That's what it is. Whether, where he ends up at that time, I think kind of will finally cement his decision. But until then, he can flirt with both. Now, the minor league baseball signing bonuses are contingent on you actually showing up and playing. Now, if you show up and play and they cut you, you get to keep everything. But if you don't show up, you don't get the second half of it, and they can sue you for the first half, and they'll win. That being the Oakland A's.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, like, you're gonna, his fate's gonna be sealed here pretty soon. I just don't blame him for playing both sides. Hell, you got like Major League Baseball, the fly out marketing executives, and the general manager of your team to come to you.
Yeah.
And you're a minor leaguer.
Dorf,
at this point.
Does he necessarily have to go to the combine though? I mean, can't he have his own?
He needs to go to the combine.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you need to alleviate you need to go get measured. You need to alleviate some of the concerns about size. You need to participate in all those team interviews. And because, like, teams only have a certain amount of, like, you can bring people out for visits. I forget what the cap is in the NFL, but they can only bring, like, 20 or 30 guys out, if I remember correctly, during a draft cycle to, like, evaluate. You can only bring them out for, like, private workouts or, interviews and tours of the facility or whatever. If you're going to be using, those are usually guys that are down the draft board that you bring in for visits like that. The top end prospects, you take care of all those visits when you're at the combine.
Okay.
And at the same time, if I'm an NFL team and he's still wishy-washy and I don't know, I'm not taking him in the first round. I'm sorry. I'm not risking that much draft capital on a guy that isn't sure he wants to be here.
And if you're not taking in the first, if you're not taking in the first round, then the decision is made for you. Then you go definitely go and play baseball.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, if say he decides, you know what, I'm going to go play baseball. Thanks, guys. His name will still be in the draft. Don't be surprised if someone doesn't pick him in the 6th round and try and stash his rights.
Mm-hmm.
6th or 7th round.
I fully expect him to be taken by someone, whether it's in the 1st round or the 6th round. He's going to be, owned by an NFL team.
You see, I mean, this
point.
is a little bit different, but Major League Baseball has the draft formula is we're going to keep picking until people don't want to pick anymore. That's how many rounds we have. It's usually about 40.
Yeah.
Some years there's been like 55. Other years, I think a couple years ago it was only 38 because that's as many as they wanted to pick.
I think Dorf and I got drafted a couple of years ago by somebody.
I mean, like executives' kids that weren't didn't even play their senior year of high school get picked. Like Mike Vick got picked by the Rockies in the 30th round one year. Mike Vick hadn't played baseball since the 6th grade. I mean, teams will pick good athletes that used to play baseball all the time.
Yeah.
And up from the baseball side of things, but the NFL, there's only 7 rounds, and you need every one of those picks. There's what's the chance of a guy outside the top 10 rounds making it? Pretty much nothing. So if you're going to spend a 17th round pick on somebody's kid or another sports athlete, who cares? You're not wasting anything. It's not like that.
I think Johnny Manziel was drafted by the Padres.
Manziel got picked. Yeah, Johnny Manziel got picked by the Padres. I forgot about that. He hadn't played baseball since like the 9th grade.
Yeah, so it happens. Dorf, real quick though, moving along from Kyler Murray, but this is definitely going to be something that is going to be very, very intriguing as the weeks and next month or so rolls around. But obviously, quick thoughts. Trevor Lawrence last weekend national championship game. We were wrong. I mean, Alabama ended up getting smoked by Clemson.
Very, very happy to be wrong there. And that's like I said, very happy to be wrong there.
Do you have any immediate thoughts or any reaction to what happened?
I think a most interesting conversation we could probably start having, I think we've got a little bit of time to have it before it's relevant again, is should Trevor Lawrence, would it be in his best interest to sit out the next 2 years and not play down?
And just have it, what you just saw is going to be.
This is my final tape. Everybody sees what I am physically. The rules are dumb and I can't go to the draft.
That's a tough call as a freshman though
I know. I'm done. You know what? Does he want to be the martyr that gets the NFL draft rules changed? I doubt he would. First off, the chances of successes aren't good in my mind that he would actually be successful in getting that rule changed or like a one-time exception. But at the same time, he would be the number 1 draft pick without a doubt, hands down. Tomorrow, well, if the draft is tomorrow, he would be the number 1 pick this season if he was allowed to go in, but he can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, you know what, if he was playing on one of those teams that, that you knew wasn't going to be around next year, that it was going to be kind of that, I don't want to say one-hit wonder, but...
I'm not even worried about, I don't need to improve my on-tape performance.
No, I know,
the only risk I'm protecting myself from injury, but the only risk you have is when you don't give them any more game tape for the next 2 years. They could sit there and the 8 games you started or over the 12 overall you play, they could sit there and nitpick those performances apart, and all of a sudden you're not the number one pick anymore. That would be my only concern.
I just think that, I don't know. I go back. I play another year because what? He's going to be done after this. Wait, no, obviously you have to be.
He's got 2.
Yeah, you got to be 2 more years.
Freshman.
Yep. Sorry. Man, I come back. Freshman didn't even play.
At the same time, this could be like an
season.
unprecedented thing here. I'm sure if you called, you hire an agent and work out with IMG, I'm sure IMG would come up with something for you to do, and they'd work you out, and you'd train constantly for the next 2 years, and you'd probably be a better player than you would if you played college ball.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. I guess I'm. Yeah, I stay at Clemson.
It's an interesting conundrum, and
It
at
is.
the same time, do you really want to get into being a professional already, or would you rather just still continue to be a quote kid?
See, and
play college football.
And that's extremely hard to come by too, Dorf. I mean, because it's not like he's going to go and be in somebody's minor league system and marinate in there. And marinate in there for a few seasons before he makes the jump to the big leagues. If he gets drafted, then he's going to be playing in an NFL training camp and NFL preseason games, and who knows what happens from there on out. And he's just a year removed from high school. He's
like 19.
Yeah,
I don't think he's 19 yet.
Yeah, that's a tough scenario. I understand the conundrum, but I don't know. It's football is a different game. The NFL is a different game than than other sports, whether it's NBA, MLB, or the NHL. Just because you are thrown into these.
There is no development time in the NFL.
No,
you got to be able to play now.
Yeah, you are thrown into those situations.
Especially at the quarterback position.
Exactly. So, anyways, though, Dorf, sticking with quarterbacks here, Nick Foles. Nick Foles had himself another game the other night. It was last night, in fact, against the New Orleans Saints. And you know what? Eagles jump out.
Not his fault. Alshon Jeffrey can't catch.
No, the Eagles jump out to that 14-0 lead. What are you going to do? You're playing on the road against the New Orleans Saints, best team and arguably the best team in the NFC. But Nick Foles once again goes out on the road, puts his team in a position to win, because that's exactly what he did. The Eagles were, if Alshon Jeffrey catches that ball, then they are driving. And I'm not saying that there's any guarantees that they score a touchdown and win that game. But obviously, the Eagles are put into a very, very good situation to go and do just that, and something that Nick Foles has done before this year, the previous week, against the Chicago Bears on the road. Now, I understand that, they haven't been, they didn't make it to that situation of winning another Super Bowl. They didn't win another Super Bowl. And I saw an asinine tweet from Skip Bayless where he said, I'm sure that the Philadelphia...
Skip Bayless is just hung over because Dallas lost.
Yeah, and this is what he said. He's like, I'm sure the Eagles front office is glad in some way that they didn't go to another Super Bowl, so they don't have to make that tough decision on Nick Foles. Yeah, right. I'm sure
they still have a tough decision to make.
Exactly.
Because they do have a team option for $20 million next year for Nick Foles.
Yes. And
if they want to make the decision, he's theirs. Sorry, I know that's what we're about to introduce the topic. Sorry.
Look, again, it's still there, even though the Eagles didn't make it to the Super Bowl. The question mark is still there because Nick Foles played damn well last night in New Orleans.
Played damn well down the stretch.
Yes.
It's not just the last couple weeks.
No, you're right.
Once again, damn well down the stretch when you needed it.
Yep,
by the way, the Eagles kind of stumbled throughout the middle of the year. They've effectively been in a playoff mode for a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. And that was because of Nick Foles. Nick Foles is the reason why they're there. Unlike the previous season where Carson Wentz did a lot of the work in the early stages of the season, and they capitalized off of that. Nick Foles came in, did some good relief work for him, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl. The playoffs were all Nick Foles. This time around, though, they had to fight and claw their way into that playoff spot, and that was because of Nick Foles. The way that Nick Foles played was one of the big reasons why they got to the position they were last night against the New Orleans Saints. And again, just because they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, the Eagles still have a very, very tough decision to make when it comes to their quarterback situation next year, no matter which way you put it. Nick Foles has done more than enough to earn himself that starting job on the Eagles next season. And if they
and if not, they have the extreme trade bait. Now, if you're the Eagles, and I honestly think they're going to stick with Carson Wentz, and that's fine. I understand the merits of that. Do you pick up his option and trade him, or do you let him walk?
Nick Foles?
Yeah,
I pick up the option and trade him.
I want to see let me look up the dead pat.
Yeah, obviously the dead cap money is gonna weigh into that, but
because the Eagles are already in salary cap hell to begin with, and they were this year too. Let's see what would happen. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Oh wow. Dead cap of about $1.8 million. That
okay.
Ain't shit.
You keep them. You pick up that option. You pick up that option
and deal them.
Yep.
The only problem is, here's the deal. Is Nick Foles viewed by the league as somebody clamoring and waiting until the second they can to blow up Howie Roseman's phone and say, I got to have Nick Foles. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Because potentially you could have the league say, yeah, he's all right. He ain't that good. I don't want to pay him $20 million this year. I'm just going to wait for the Eagles to have their oh shit moment and have to cut him.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter at all because
well, what I'm saying is then the Eagles get stuck with that cap hit and they have to fuck their roster up just to hold on to him.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think given the situation this year of the quarterback class heading into the draft not being that great, there's going to be plenty of room. I mean, we've done this before, Dorf, where we go and we name off the different spots around the league that could use a quarterback, and I don't think it's going to be any different this year when it comes to that situation. I think that I think there's going to be plenty of spots open throughout the league that they could use a
guy of his talents. I mean,
yes.
Let's just go run through it real quick. You could do the Giants. You could see Nick Foles being there. You could see the Jaguars.
The Raiders.
Let's see. I know this will never happen, but he's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. But Jerry loves himself some Dak Prescott.
Jerry loves himself some Dak Prescott, yeah.
Yeah, he does. I mean, Denver,
yeah.
There's too much guaranteed money for Kirk Cousins, but he's probably a better QB than Kirk Cousins. You could see him in.
What about Atlanta?
No, Matt Ryan's. They're kind of in salary cap.
Yeah, that's right.
He ain't going anywhere. Let's see.
What about?
Depends on what Phillip Rivers you very well could have the retirement of Phil Rivers and or Ben Roethlisberger. Either of those two would open up.
What about giving yourself a little extra time in Arizona with like a Josh Rosen? Or
if he didn't start pretty much the whole year last year, I think that would be merit. If he had sat behind like Sam Bradford the entire year, I would say, yeah, sure. But at the same time, he started something like the last 14 weeks.
And the same
yeah.
The same thing with the Jets too, at Sam Darnold.
I think you already have that guy like Josh McCown there. I think you're. I mean, hell, you could even have Drew Brees retire here, and you could need somebody there too.
Exactly.
Another guy that's going to be kind of the same boat though is you have Teddy Bridgewater again, who's going to be out there, kind of that same level of quarterback who's good enough to be a starter. There just isn't a job for him.
Yeah, but he didn't go to a Super Bowl and win it and get the MVP in that same
Fair
night.
Enough.
So
true story. But I mean, Jacksonville's hugely appealing. Oakland's hugely appealing if you can deal with John Gruden. He'll have a job somewhere.
Look, there's going
to be... And this is even before, I mean, I know Ben Roethlisberger said he's not. I think he plans on playing a couple more years. Hell, Tom Brady could retire. Who knows? He wins the Super Bowl and rides out on top. That's a perfect landing spot for him too.
Yeah. I think the big three right now, though, Dorf, is Jacksonville, Oakland, and the Giants. I think those are the big three. Obviously, whether or not
Eli's still in contract, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean whether or not Kyler Murray comes out or not, I don't think he will. One of those three teams is going to get Dwayne Haskins, and even if they do get Dwayne Haskins, there's no.
I really caution people at Dwayne Haskins. I don't think he's that good, guys.
Well, even if he does get drafted, that conversation is something for a different day. But even if one of those three teams ends up drafting him, there's no guarantee that Dwayne Haskins starts day one or week one for that instance.
Yeah,
you're still going to need a veteran quarterback to come in there and kind of right the ship and be that bridge to whoever it is that they drafted, whether it's Haskins or Murray or whoever. So, yeah, there's plenty of spots out there for a guy like for Nick Foles. And if I'm the Eagles. Go ahead.
If the Giants were interested, Eli is under contract for next year. He has a cap hit of 23.2. Mm-hmm. There's a dead cap if you were to cut him of 6.2. He's due a $5 million roster bonus in the middle of March. So they would need to be able to start working on that trade here fairly soon if that was something that was going to happen to save that roster bonus. If they release him at any time during the offseason, the cap hold will still be that 6.2. You can just avoid paying that $5 million signing bonus.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously there's some scenarios there for you. Now, I don't think it'll be I don't think shit's going to move that quickly.
Well, and here's the other thing. I saw a report today that apparently the Jaguars are heavily interested in Joe Flacco.
I heard that too. Yeah, so I mean, there's gonna be a pick of the litter, but and Joe Flacco's another one of those guys that has
same
Super
kind of
Bowl credit.
situation.
Yeah, that has Super Bowl credit, and yep. So
got bling.
Yeah, who knows? There's going to be a landing spot for Nick Foles, nonetheless. Other than that, let's go ahead and do a quick peek at next week's championship games over in the AFC. We're going to have the New England Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs, which makes for a very, very interesting matchup between these two teams because you kind of have old guard in Tom Brady, face of the league in that sense, going up against perhaps the new guard in Pat Mahomes in Kansas City, who has been amazing this season as quarterback for the Chiefs. Dorf, I think this is going to be an extremely, extremely good game. Obviously, it's going to be at Arrowhead, so it's going to be the Patriots this time making the trip.
They're also projecting the coldest game ever at Arrowhead Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, and here's the thing. It's not like the Patriots are a warm weather team. Not that really matters in the NFL, but yeah, they come from a colder climate. Mm-hmm. Honestly, they'll probably roll in there in short sleeves and say, "Bitch, please." That's a terrible rhyme. Don't make fun of me.
But I don't know. I mean, this game in itself, I was obviously, I went out on a limb last week and I picked the Chargers to go to Foxborough and upset the Patriots. And you know what?
Good thing we didn't bet any money on our picks last week.
No, I took a stab at it, and I came out on the short end there. But I don't know. Different week this week. Kansas City has looked good all season. I know the Chargers have too, but Pat Mahomes has been playing in an entirely different realm from that standpoint. So, Dorf, obviously Pat Mahomes playing at home, the pressure's going to be off a little bit in that from that standpoint. But again, you're getting Darth Hoodie coming in here with Tom Brady and tons of experience playing in this type of game. I don't know. I really don't know how to pick this game.
So the current spread is Kansas City's favored by 3.
Okay.
Over under at 57.5. So
Jesus
they're predicting
Christ.
a high scoring game and close. Gee whiz. I hate to say I don't want to pick against Darth Hoodie. However, Kansas City has the best home field advantage all of the NFL. It's going to be a miserable game. But I think that miserable game kind of plays to the Patriots' advantage. They've shown the ability to and the patience to just say, fuck it, we're going to run the ball 50 times this week. And they've done that multiple times this year for victories. And they do have the team set up to do it, and that helps limit their exposure on their weakest points, which is their defense. I think Kansas City has the stronger special teams. I can't. I followed my rule last week with picks. Do not bet against Darth Hoodie. I'm not going to do it again. I think the Pats are going to win here, straight up.
Do I dare go against Darth Hoodie for the second straight week?
You're tempting fate, sir.
Look, this has all the makings for, Tom Brady to, in some way, shape, or form, take advantage of a quarterback with not having that playoff experience, like you said, Dorf. New England has they'll go ahead and run the ball down your throats if the situation presents itself. I really don't care about home field advantage when you're talking Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I don't know. I learned my lesson last week. I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots. Straight up. On the NFC side of things, we get another number 1 and number 2 facing off against each other. We have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. And I don't know, Dorf. We get Jared Goff going up against...
rematch. They played already this year.
Yeah, they did. And this was the LA Rams' first loss of the season. Taken at the hands of the New Orleans.
Beat them up pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Saints. I believe it was a home game for the Saints. Will be a home game again. The formula is there to beat the Rams. Their defense isn't all that strong, especially if you run right at them.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints they kind of have more of a finesse rushing attack, but for whatever reason, they just rack up yards. I think they know the formula. Obviously, Sean McVay and Sean Payton there both have had chances plenty of time to revisit that tape and figure out what went wrong and how to adjust and what killed us before. However, I think this is going to be a slugfest, high scoring, just like last time, where it might just be a battle of who has the ball last.
Mm-hmm.
One bullshit call on a fake punt. Johnny Hecker had that first down, and one interception was the difference in that game. And I think those are the only 2 times that the Rams didn't come away with points, and I don't think the Saints didn't come away with points but one time, and that was the difference in their previous matchup. My memory could be serving me wrong there, I think, but it's gonna be a shootout. They have the over under. The betting people have it over under at 57 here. Slam that over. It is going to be, especially indoors when weather's not going to be a factor. That is going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Quite frankly, I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting this gut feeling to take the under on that one. I don't know why.
Really?
I'm getting the gut feeling to take the under. I think that I think the Saints are the more balanced team from this aspect. I don't think there's any argument with that. I think they got the better defense than the Rams. I think the Rams, look, Jared Goff has shown us some problems at the end of this past regular season.
Doesn't like pressure in his face.
No, he does not. I think if the Saints are able to deliver that pressure on home field with that crowd behind them, I think we're going to start to see some of those problems started to emerge again from Jared Goff, as we've seen before. Now, again, that's not to say that they don't have an offense that could go in there and win. Like I said, though, I just think the Saints could match them up toe to toe on offense themselves, but I think the defense is going to be that big difference maker in this one. I'll take the under here, and I'm going to take the Saints winning this one at home to go into the Super Bowl, take on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to call the Rams here. Nobody beats Sean McVay twice. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Sean Payton. I got a question here for you, Adam.
Yeah.
Any argument here that the best 4 teams aren't the ones remaining?
No.
I mean,
no.
obviously, it was the 1 and 2 seeds for both the AFC and the NFC are still alive here, but without a doubt, I mean, without a doubt in your mind, about the only other team I could bring into the conversation would be the Chargers. I really do think these are the best 4 teams throughout the entire season, and they're still left standing. Playoffs, a single elimination bracket is done well this time, and it isn't just who's currently the hottest.
No, there were no surprises here. There were no surprises, no wild card teams, no nothing like that. Yeah, I think that these are definitely. I mean, ranking or seeds aside, yeah, these were definitely
the best 4 teams.
Yeah, these are the best 4 teams, and you know what? The Patriots do this to us every single season. It seems like we always talk about them.
Oh man, is this the year? Are they done? Oh,
I mean,
they're the 1 or the and then they end up as the 1 or the 2 seed, and all of a sudden they're in the freaking conference championship game.
I mean, look where we were, a few months ago, Dorf. I mean, the Patriots lost to the Detroit Lions.
Like badly.
Badly. They didn't look good. That certainly looked like it was the end of the Patriots dynasty, or the beginning of the end of the Patriots dynasty, right then and there.
Didn't they rattle off like 10 out of 11 after that too?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was a wake up call definitely for them, and look where they are now. They were the 2nd seed in the AFC, and they're playing in the conference championship game again. What is this, like their 8th trip or something to the conference championship game in a row? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been the norm for a while now. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL, and nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be surprised. This is where we are now with it. It's gonna be a good weekend, though. Definitely. I think.
Got another question here for you.
Sure.
What did you think of the Sean Payton rolling in that stack of $250,000 in Lombardi Trophy into the locker room? What did you think of that?
If I'm a superstitious person, I'm not all about that. I'm not really that much of a superstitious person, though.
I don't even think it's superstitious. It's like, hey, you want this? You can't have it unless, of course, you go in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, did he let players touch it?
No, it was behind like a glass case.
Oh. Okay, well, that's fine with me then, as long as he's not letting players touch it. If he's letting players touch it and hold it up and kiss it and everything, then you're tempting fate in that sense. But yeah, that's fine with that.
$250,000 in cash. Hey, owner of the Saints, who I don't know your name. Hey, I want to do this thing. Yeah. Can you get me $250,000 in cash delivered to the practice facility, please?
I think that trophy's made by Tiffany too.
Unmarked bills, non-sequential.
I think that trophy's made by Tiffany and Co.
Is it?
I think so. I think.
Oh, this is worth a Google search here, real quick.
Huh. Hey, in other NFL news, kinda. Did you know that was it Shadir Khan, owner of the
Shad Khan?
Shad Khan. Yeah.
And you are right. It is Tiffany and Co.
It is Tiffany.
Yep.
Well, look at that. He bought himself a wrestling league or organization. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
What about Jerry Jones's mega yacht?
Oh, the one for like
$250 million.
Yeah, it has 2 helicopter pads on it. It has
cool.
It has a gym, a spa.
Dude, he ain't getting any younger. Spend that money, man.
No,
you can't take it to your grave with you.
I guess it was a Christmas present for his family.
Well, at the same time, it's just one of those like, it's gonna stick around once he dies. So.
Yeah, it will. Jesus Christ, though. Capitalism, man, capitalism.
Hey, the beauty of that purchase is how many people got paid to help make it. Capitalism, baby.
Yeah. And how much of that money are the workers gonna get? A fraction.
Fair wage.
A fraction.
And so it shall be.
Fair wage. Anyway, this is a topic for a different
show. Wrong show, man. Wrong show.
I don't know.
That on Tuesdays.
Dorf, did you have anything else to add regarding the conference?
We're gonna have another show before the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have another show. Let me check the schedule. Do we have another show coming up next week? I believe we do. Hold on here. Next week, yes, we do have a. Yep.
I will save it. I will save my next thing for then.
All right. Anyways, though, yeah, that's gonna do it. Enjoy the conference championship games, everybody. In the meantime, keep an eye out on that Kyler Murray situation. And so for Dorf in Omaha, I am
Omaha.
Omaha.
Dude, you. Speaking of which, brief aside, you know what all that meant?
What?
It's oh shit, we're running out of play clock. Let's go on one.
Oh, is that what Omaha meant?
That's literally all it means. It's the next sound I make after I say the word Omaha.
Oh,
that's all it means. That means we probably originally came out with some intention to go on two or on some different verbiage, but oh crap, we're out of time because I made it audible.
But why Omaha?
Because it's unique and distinctive, and everybody it's very easy to pick out in a loud crowd.
Okay, one other thing, Dorf. You know those.
And it starts with the letter O, meaning on one.
You know those crazy signs that they hold up in college with like,
the different memes on them. Yes.
Yeah. How come they don't do that in the pros?
Because I'm sure some team would employ a cryptologist and have it figured out in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. You'd see Bill Belichick hiring guys to figure that out.
You bet your ass that those teams already have guys like that, where like body language readers, where they can sit there and watch the OC and based on some body language cue, run or pass. If not, I want dibs on the idea when it pays off.
Well, Bill Belichick doesn't need that. They'll just go ahead and bug the locker room or bug the sidelines. So,
or make the headsets not work.
Yeah, make the headsets not work. Yep.
That's just so to channel my inner Eric Carmen. How do I reach these keys? I have to chase them the way of the beanie check.
Anyways, though, that's going to do it this week. Again, we'll catch everybody next week. Everybody enjoy the conference championship games. This is Blitzcast on the Majors TV. We'll see you next time.